Hi guys, I'm just sitting here in my dining room working on some things, and I thought that I would just do this quick update because a lot of people have been noticing my absence and wanting to know where I've been. Okay, well, we had Easter and I had company. Since then, I've been outside. We've got to get our garden together. We've got a great big huge pile of branches and sticks that we've had to clean out of the flower beds and tree beds from all the storm damage. And we've been waiting to burn all of that, and we haven't been able to yet because it's been so windy. Yesterday was a little bit nicer of a day, and I was thinking that, I should just put a little gas on here and throw the match in there and let it go because it's all nice and dry now. But I'm hoping that maybe we can burn this weekend. If not this weekend, maybe the next weekend coming up or sometime next week. Believe it or not, about half of our garden, and those of you that, you've watched my videos, you know how big my garden is. Half of my garden, believe it or not, has branches and all kinds of little small limbs that came down that we've had to clean throughout the front, the side, the back. And so yeah, all that's got to be burned. The reason why I'm waiting now is because as of today, it's raining. It's going to rain tomorrow. It's going to rain Thursday. And that's good to have all that rain because the ground's going to be nice and wet by the time Saturday gets here. And I'm hoping this weekend my son Adam is off. There's one weekend a month that he has to work, and I hope it's not this one. Because we need to get outside in the front and in the back by our walkway, and we need to dig out all of my roses. Every one of my rose bushes was attacked by the ice storms that we were getting and the extreme cold. And in the front, all four of them are completely dead. There's no sign of life at all. They've got to come out of the ground. And I'm thinking about just putting some fountain grasses there instead. So anyway, so those are the roses out front, all completely dead. I don't know exactly what I'm going to plant in there. I was thinking about just doing fountain grasses. I don't know. The rose bushes along my back walkway, and for those of you that you've been following my vlogs for the last couple years, you know that I have that great big huge one, and it's really wide, and then it tapers down to two other ones. They're not as wide and as tall as that one. It's dead. I am so sick over it. Because we really like that, and everybody that always sees my videos always compliments about, how big that rose bush is. It's a wall of roses when it's all in bloom. But yes, I have a few of the branches that are green, and there's little shoots coming out of them, for leaves and so forth. And all the rest of it is like dead. And the other two small ones, they have a little bit sign of life. But, by the time that I were to trim all of those back, there would be like a big gaping hole all in through there. And it would take several years for that to come back. So I just told my husband, we just need to take it out, completely take it out, all of them. So now I have to figure out what to put back there. The other thing is, and this might actually go in my favor, you know how I was wanting to put the curtains out on the pergola once we get all that painted? And I might now have my husband's cooperation on this, but due to an unfortunate circumstance. Behind my railing and the pergola, going out to the yard, to the woodpile over there, where our plum tree is, there's junipers that are back there. And yeah, they're like all brown with just a little bit of green in them, so they're dead too. And because the wood pile's back there and we got the trees over there, it's going to be really hard to get in there and get that stuff out of there. I think what we're going to have to do is get the chainsaw, and my son Adam, who's the slimmest, can get in there, and he's probably going to have to get on his knees and cut those down with the chainsaw. And then because there's so much of it, either I'm gonna have to find somebody who can haul it away. Either that, or we're going to just leave them there, and this is what I think we might do, because I really don't want to spend any more money than I have to get somebody to come and haul all that away. Since some of it still has some green on it, I'm thinking about just letting it stay there until the fall when the garden is done, because we always do a burn in the fall too. Like when we tear out all the garden plants and things like that. So anyhow, I'm thinking maybe in the fall we can get all that cut down back there and burn that. And then that whole back part of the deck where the pergola is, and on both sides of the pergola, or on most of it anyway, yeah, there will be nothing. And so my husband was saying, now this is going to leave, it's all going to be open there, and even through the pergola, through the lattice, like, you know, you could see through there. He's like, we're not going to have our privacy. And that's what I'm thinking, yes we will, because I'm going to show him that picture from Better Homes and Gardens so he can see that little curtain idea. So that'll work, obviously, in the spring and through the summer, but in the winter, it won't work. But I don't think that will be such a big issue because, you know, we're not outside in the winter, right? So I don't know. And then he says to me, he wants me to research some shrubs that are shade friendly, because we got the plum trees there. And he says, you know, if we can find something that's shade friendly, we'll try to plant those. But anyway, it's trying to get back in there through all of that and digging holes. I don't know. I just don't know. Anyway, I got a lot of things on my mind because since we have lost a lot of our landscaping, see, this year I was thinking, oh, this is the first year I'm not going to have to buy flowers, fountain grasses, perennials, none of that stuff. I just have to get my plants from my garden. I got my garden seeds already, and you know, we're good because I planted all perennials, and we're good until all of this stuff is obviously dead now. So it's like, okay, now we're having to spend more money to try to fix all of this. In the meantime, we have Scott's this year. We had Green Lawn last year. I wasn't too thrilled with their service for, you know, spraying our yard and get rid of weeds and everything. Last year, I had them spray all the front, the sides, but I did, and in the back over from my garden over where all the grass is over there, the good grass, from when, you know, they tore up my backyard to put that new septic drain field. Anyway, last year, anybody remembers any of my sandy cams, it looked green. It was filling in back there. A lot of that, it was grass mixed with weeds that was making that green looking. So Scott's came and they're spraying all the yard now because we're trying to at least get what we do have back there where they had to tear up my backyard, getting the fertilizer on it. Because believe it or not, when you fertilize your lawn, it'll take a few years to do it, but the fertilization of that grass, feeding that grass, it helps your grass to spread. So we're hoping that that's what's going to take place. It's going to be a couple years before I have a nice lawn again. But we did go out and try to spread grass seed. even with the soil being damp. We waited until we had lots of rain and it was very damp, and we thought by spreading the grass seed that'll be good. And then it rained, that it will germinate because the ground was soft. You still have to have that loose soil. So that idea didn't work. So Scott's, when they sprayed to kill the weeds, all those weeds that were growing there last year, they're all dead. And so now it's all patchy looking again. And by the way, this is probably about my third or fourth attempt to do an update. I've done them before to let you guys know, where I am, and I'm not, never coming back or anything. Just wanted to like update, but every time I did an update, I just thought, this is really boring. But in my other updates, now my grandfather clock is going. In my other updates, I was outside showing you guys everything, and I don't know, maybe I'll do that here coming up when I get back outside and it's not raining. But anyway, so yeah, it's cleaning out flower beds, tree beds. The next thing, obviously, and I mentioned this too, usually this time every year in April, we are running our air conditioner. I'm still running the heater at night. During the day, I can shut it off, but later in the afternoon, I have to, turn it back on because the house starts getting cold. And yeah, it's still really cold. And so we can't even get outside to paint our deck and the pergola. And it's been so windy, I can't even get out there to do the pressure wash. We were going to do that. I was going to have my son Adam do it. He was off, not this last Monday, the Monday before. And I was going to have him do it then. And when we went outside, the wind was just blowing all over the place. So it's not good to pressure wash when it's very windy because the water just goes everywhere and it splashes all over you and you come in a drenched mess. So nothing's been done with the deck. But I did bring all, I don't know if I've showed you guys. I think I did. I think my last video or so had where I drug out all my patio furniture because my plan didn't work out. Another plan that didn't work out. I wanted to, get it all painted by mid-April, bring everything out. But because we're having this strange, unusual weather, I don't want to keep waiting because I do want to get outside on nice days when it's nice and sunny and, sit on the swing and the dogs are enjoying, the sun, laying out on the chase lounge and on the deck and everything. So anyway, some of my plans have not been working out. So what's on the agenda? We've got to get all of this stuff burned after we get the rose bushes out. We've got to get the garden tilled and ready to go. Depending on the weather, when we can paint, I don't know. Another thing that we have to do is we have to get mulch brought in. And we have to mulch some of the flower beds. Some of them, because I have so much that needs to be mulched. Seriously, I can spend like $1,000 every year for mulch, just mulch. That's mulching around the trees in the front, the 2 flower beds, one by the front door, the one by the driveway. Then we have that huge tree line, and we used to actually even mulch that. And then all of back here in the backyard, my whole happy place, and all along the walkway and everything. And it's like, I forget how many yards. Is it 9? I think the last time that we did it, where we did it a whole bunch, it was like 9 yards of mulch. And that is a killer to have to keep shoveling all that in your wheelbarrow and take it everywhere, and a lot of work. And then if you pay somebody to do it, then it's even more money. So anyway, what we've been doing the last couple years, we mulch one area and let the other go. And now, so this year, the areas that we let go, we've got to get mulch in there. So we have to do that. We got to get about, I want to get like 3 to 4 yards of mulch. And so we got that project, the painting project, the garden project. And then I got to get all my flower pots and all that together too. And I'm not even planting my flower pots. Usually my flower pots, they're already planted and all outside. Can't do it because it's still really cold at night. And we had, I don't think it was last week, I think it was the week before, we had a couple nights where it went down in the 20s and they were warning of a freeze. So, you know, it was a good thing I didn't have my flower pots because I would have been bringing all of them in the house. So I have projects that should have been done by now. It's going to be, who knows how much longer before we get them done. There's other things, though, that I have been doing outside. So, and we're back to cutting the grass again. So I've been doing that. So that's the update with outside. And so I don't want to show you guys, you know, all that stuff that I'm going out and doing all of that. The other update is I'm going to be reorganizing our home office upstairs. I have things that I store up there in like the big Rubbermaid tote things, but I'm going to have to carry all those downstairs and find a place in my storage area to store those instead of keeping them upstairs. And my son Adam always plays his guitars in our office because if he plays downstairs in the basement, we have a finished basement, but you can hear him play because our family room is right above where he would stand and play his guitar. And so, you know, who wants to hear that? I mean, he plays good. He's a good guitar player, but when you're sitting and trying to watch the news or my husband's reading the paper, the last thing you want to hear is a jam session going on, right? So when he plays in his room is at the top of the stairs right here, which is kind of like, you know, my little shelf where I have my little owl light and all that between the family room and the kitchen. His room is right there. So again, you know, when he's playing, you know, it's just disturbing. So I make him go to my office because it's at the total opposite of the house there, at the very back end of the house. And we don't hear him. So we make him go in there. So I'm looking around because with the office furniture that I'm getting, I'm really going to have to be moving things around to get everything in because I'm getting a new desk. Right now I have that armoire, and some of you guys might remember seeing that. It's one of those things so like you could close it and then open it, you know, so that you don't have all the like if you had like limited space. In our house in Chicago, we didn't have our own personal office because all the bedrooms were taken by kids and that sort of thing. So here we do have an office. And so now I want to get that armoire thing out because when you open all that up, it's a pain just to walk all around it. So we're getting a desk. And then behind us, the other like matching desks with a hutch thing on it so you can put your books and, you know, storage, that sort of thing. And then we've got to get new filing cabinets. And so, yeah, I got to go upstairs and I have to reorganize all of that after we get our furniture. So we've been looking and I did find another furniture store. My husband and I are going to go out hopefully this weekend. And if we like what I saw that I liked, if my husband likes it and we order it, then hopefully maybe next week I could have my office furniture here, which means I'm going to be up. I have to go through that whole armoire office thing that we have, and I've got to get everything off of there and pile it up somewhere, probably in my bedroom. And I've got to take all those totes downstairs to the basement and make room for them there, and just, you know, other things that I have to do up there to get all that squared away. And then the other thing is, since my mother-in-law moved here in 2012, and she was here for a year, and then last year we moved her to assisted living, but still, my husband does all of her bookkeeping, all of it. And so we have things that are hers, and because one of our drawers in our filing cabinet broke and I wasn't able to, I keep everything filed. I have a whole organizational system, and all I got to do is when I get my new filing cabinets is I just got to take everything out and put it in there. But I'm behind like the last 2 years of filing everything. I just got, you know, those file boxes that you could buy like at Walmart. I have a couple of those. One's for my mother-in-law, one's for us, and I've just been throwing stuff in there. So it's probably going to take me a day or two to have to go through, you know, everything for the last couple years and get everything all filed. And probably the stuff that I have in my file cabinet now is a little bit older now. I can take those things out and then put those in those boxes and then take that down to storage, and then do the last, like, I like to have like the last 3 years of everything. So anyway, I'm going to have to do that. That's going to take time to do that. So anyway, this is just my quick update. This is where I've been. This is what I've been doing. And if I'm not being consistent, you know, with my vlogging, that's why. Because these kinds of things, I mean, it's one thing when I'm doing like a do-it-yourself thing and I show it to you, or I'm outside, okay, I'm going to do this, and then I put the camera down and okay, now I'm done. This is what it looks like. That's one thing. But when you're doing these bigger projects like this, it's almost like if you were painting. It's like focus, focus, focus until you just get it done, and it can take some time to do it. You know what I mean? So when there's all that outside stuff, and like I said, when I get upstairs to my office, it's going to be the same way. I might try to do a do-it-yourself, like a before and after, you know, organizational thing. But yeah, it's just constant, always doing something. So I'm just giving this update because I didn't want you to think that I just, you know, went away and I wasn't coming back. And I've had people sending me messages asking me, where's your vlogs at? Are you coming back? I'm coming back. But yeah, it'll just be a little bit sporadic here. So anyway, till the next video, I'll see you. Bye.